Hey, welcome back to the Card Lounge. It's your boy Robo.
And Twice Baked Jake.
And we are here. It's the end of August. It's September now. And now the tariffs are here. And we're never going to get Japanese Pokemon cards again. Jake, how do you feel about that?
What's happening? I've been hearing about tariffs for like 9 months now. What
I
is
know.
happening?
don't.
So this impacts you a little bit more because you actually purchase a lot more Japanese Pokemon cards than I do. I do purchase some, but generally speaking, I might make a $50 purchase, a $100 purchase. Nothing crazy, but because you guys actually sell a lot of Japanese booster boxes nightly, so check Rob out on his live stream.
RoboSkills.
Open up some booster packs with him.
Yes, roboskills.com or roboskills on YouTube for the live streams. But yes.
So what is happening with the tariffs for Japan?
Okay.
Or I guess internationally. Is it in all countries or not just Japan?
I guess it is all countries, but we specifically are getting Japanese Pokemon cards for the shop from Japan. And now those are going to be tariffed. So
by how much? Do you know, like pretty high, 20%?
Yeah, like 25% or something like that.
From Japan?
Which is pretty considerable. I guess it's interesting because what everyone's been saying is English Pokemon cards are too high. And so we've found a lot of collectors kind of find a cheaper alternative in collecting Japanese Pokemon cards and now the Chinese, simplified Chinese Pokemon cards, the official ones. But now with these tariffs, the Chinese Pokemon cards, which are produced in Japan, as well as the Japanese Pokemon cards, are going to be more expensive. I don't think they're going to be as expensive as English, but it's just the fact that it's just like closing that gap in the difference in pricing.
I get you.
And I guess that is the overall goal of like what they say the tariffs are supposed to do. It's like, buy more American goods, I guess.
Yeah, so that is part of it, is that basically, so we have Mega Symphonia and Mega Brave on display today, and those are the latest Japanese sets. So let's say those are $100 right now to get from Japan. You're saying, basically in September now, those could be like 125. So it's a direct tax on whoever purchased them overseas. So we just pass it on to the consumer, which is, hey, you're getting taxed 25% on the tariff. You just raise the prices on those boxes 25%.
Right.
So that makes everything more expensive for the people who buy it from you, which sucks.
Yeah. And it's funny. It's so funny how you just like laid that out. I remember on TikTok, there was such a huge like debate on who gets like tariffed, and I think there was like a lot of misinformation that was being spread, like particularly by like certain groups of people. But ultimately at the end of the day, I mean, this is kind of just showing it, right? The tariffs will happen, and at the end of the day, it's the end consumer that pays more money, not like the other country or something. There was people saying, Japan will have to pay us more money to take their goods, and it's like, that's not how a tariff works at all.
Well, they do, but they pass the buck to the next person, and everyone passes the buck to the next person until the end consumer. The end consumer would be whoever opens up this Mega Symphonia and Mega Brave box, because you can no longer pass that buck to another person, basically. So you end up being the final payer of the tariff.
And as a shop, luckily, we were able to get a bunch of Japanese product here just kind of ahead of time, almost anticipating that this would happen. I'm sure I don't have as much like Japanese product as like Poke-Annie or someone that has been accumulating like huge amounts of Japanese product for so long, but I feel pretty confident we have like a good storage size. We are going to sell out of some things, and when we sell out, it'll be questionable on whether we're able to restock on them at the end of the day. I also think it's interesting because I wouldn't say we're going to try to pass on the full 25% to the end customer. We're just going to have to eat a little bit of it, and that's just going to mean like less margins overall. And usually when things are less margin heavy, you're kind of like, how much do I really want to stock this, versus putting money into maybe different inventory where the margins are a little bit better and they may be a little bit more affordable for the end consumer.
Yeah. So what you're saying is, let's say the tariff's 25%. You might raise the prices on your boxes 15%, or something like that. And you end up taking 10% of the cost from the consumer, which is nice. But that's part of it, is that right now, the margins seem really solid for Pokemon cards, but usually the margins are really bad. The margins for most products are usually 50%. It's basically, if you something costs $1. If something costs $1, you would want to sell it for $2 to cover your bases.
That's so wild.
But that's what's needed because there's a bunch of costs involved. But basically for Pokemon, the margins are like 10 to 20%.
Correct.
It's razor thin, where a tariff like this eats up all the margins basically, which is what some people are currently scared of. I know a lot of card shops, not surprising, like Pokey Danny Phantom, a lot of people are currently selling Japanese boxes because that's all we can sell. You know, people can't sell English boxes because no one has any English boxes. So a lot of card shops have switched over to selling Japanese and Chinese boxes because that's what we have access to.
Right. And I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, it will just kind of work itself out as a supply issue in the sense that if I feel like I'm going to buy less, I'm sure there's a ton of shop owners out there that also are going to feel like they're going to buy less. If everyone buys less, all these like kind of distro or folks in Japan are going to be like, oh, where are all our buyers? Then they will all start to undercut each other on price, hopefully. And then maybe, I don't know if it'll be like make up for the 25% difference. I mean, at the end of the day, there's still going to be people here that buy the same amount of Japanese Pokemon booster boxes that they've always been buying, especially because, actually, let's just talk about it. Phantasmal Flames.
Yeah, that's what's the next thing that I was going to talk about.
You think people are going to, we should buy less of the Mega Charizard, Mega Gengar set? No, I'll probably buy just as much as I did for Mega Symphonia and Mega Brave, if not more, because it's going to be a crazy set.
Name for it, the Japanese set name for Phantasmal.
Oh, yeah.
It just came out, and I just want to know what it was. Inferno X. Inferno X is the name of the Japanese set for the Mega Charizard set. And when Destined Rivals came out for Japan, the Japanese version, the Glory Team Rocket, Japanese boxes of Glory Team Rocket reached an all-time high of 200 a box. You remember that?
I do.
For the Glory Team Rocket. But Mega Evolution hasn't been that expensive.
Was it 200 or 300?
It might have reached peak price for 300 for a week or two.
Or maybe like 260, 270. It was like
for the Japanese boxes.
Right.
And it still hasn't been that cheap. Like right now, it's still like over $100, I think, for Destined Rivals Glory Team Rocket booster boxes.
Right. And it's just unheard of to even get to these like $200, $300
because that's
numbers for
like
Japanese
a 5x or
booster
6x multiplier, which is massive.
Yeah.
But I do think Inferno X has a shot of doing that again.
I don't disagree with you, man, which is why it's like we are in a scary, that is crazy to think. I mean, a 5x multiplier, guys, that would be as if, if MSRP for an English booster box is around 160, then that'd be like times 5 plus 3, like $800.
Yeah, like, that's basically paying $800 a booster box.
Like what we're paying, guys, or what an end customer could pay for a Japanese booster box with how they plan to sell the booster boxes in Japan at MSRP, it would be almost as if here you were buying booster boxes at $800 a box, which is kind of insane.
Yeah, and it will probably sell out. Inferno X, I know it's got a lot of hype around it, and I did a video about this recently, which is Charizard cards have been climbing again. And I was just basically talking about why is that happening again? Like, why are Charizard cards like hot again? Because they haven't been hot in a while, and a couple of reasons. Pun intended.
I have a thought, so I want to hear if we have the same thought. Yeah.
So some of the thoughts that I had. We actually have not had a Charizard set in close to 2 years. That's actually thought number one.
Ooh.
The last Charizard set was Paldean Fates, and it came out in January of 2024, which is almost 2 years. We're a couple of months away from 2 years being the last Charizard
I see
set.
what you're saying, and really that was just an altar, or they did the shiny version of the Charizard in Obsidian Flames.
Yeah.
Like Paldean Fates is like, okay, we have a shiny Charizard. That's not even a Charizard set. Truly, the last Charizard set is Obsidian Flames.
Yep.
Which was a long time ago.
Yeah, and the last Charizard promo card we got, even if you can call it that, is inside of the Super Premium Collection. The Charizard Super Premium Collection.
Yeah.
It has a Charizard card, which is just a regular ultra rare, but is technically a promo card because it's a unique artwork, even though it's a unique ultra rare. It's not that different.
Was that the red cube thing?
Yeah, it's the red cube one. It's pretty bad.
It doesn't look, because it's not like an alt art. They just made the EX look, was it a unique? It was a unique artwork?
It was unique, but it's very bland.
Yes.
It's a very bland ultra rare.
It looks like it could be the same EX, a part of a set card in Obsidian Flames.
Yeah.
Really.
So basically, we have not had any news about Charizard in 2 years. So I think Charizard cards have been dormant during that time. They've been dormant for 2 years.
Right.
So that's my general theory. I have a little bit more, but I wanted to hear what your thoughts are because you're actually a Charizard collector.
Yeah, I mean, I think you touched on it. It's everyone had been saying that it seems like every month there's always a new Charizard chase, a new Charizard card. People were getting Charizard fatigue.
Yes,
I think across the hobby.
That was my other point. Yeah.
You see this increase of people trying to chase Gengar, Umbreon. Chasing Charizard was no longer the cool thing. Everyone was like, oh, everyone likes the fire lizard. And just like with pop culture, just like with anything being popular in a subculture space, and then that subculture space like kind of raging against it, it's kind of like, or defying it. They want to be like, oh, it's not cool to like Charizard anymore. So then Charizard kind of got, I mean, I'll say this because we were talking about it before the pod, even alt arts from the original UPC, where that Charizard UPC dropped to $70. It was below MSRP. People didn't want to buy it because it seemed like at the time, and I remember this, you could see it everywhere. Like the shelves were flooded with it. And I remember just thinking, it's still got 3 unique alt art Charizards in it. And one was really cool, like the VMAX alt art, where he looks like Godzilla. You see these Charizards climbing now in the last week or two by such a crazy rate.
Oh yeah, they're climbing incredibly fast. We're seeing cards that were $300 in a PSA 10 now go for $600 to $700 in a PSA 10 within the span of a week. The Obsidian Flames Charizard, for instance, the one that you just talked about, it's the chase card of Obsidian Flames. You know, it was $60, dude. It's so cheap at $60 raw.
Yeah, just to buy it raw. Okay.
Yeah, a raw card of that Obsidian Flame Charizard EX, it's $60.
What was it in a PSA 10 like a month ago?
I can check out for you, but basically right now that card raw is $120, so it doubled in price in a week.
Right.
In a week, it went from being $60 to $120.
So the PSA 10 has got to have doubled, or at least gone up a decent amount, especially if like the Kingdra and the Greninja special promos like doubled. Even though those were promo cards, I mean, we're talking like, this is the #1 chase from the set. And I do feel like it was kind of undervalued, or like, people weren't looking at it as they were looking at all these other things in Scarlet and Violet.
Looks like it's going for $750 in a PSA 10 right now. So that makes sense. It's $60 raw, $120 raw right now, $750. That makes sense to me.
And you know what? I think that has almost doubled, because I want to say a couple months ago, I do remember it, like looking at it around.
It used to be not that expensive.
Right. 300
makes sense.
Maybe 400. So to go from 400 to 750, yeah, it's like almost doubled, which is wild.
But that's not the only one. All Charizard cards are now currently climbing, except for base set. Base set is dormant, but pretty much every single modern Charizard card is seeing around a 50% to 100% multiplier.
Even the Brilliant Stars alt art one?
The Brilliant Star one is actually one of the weaker ones. People are sleeping on that maybe, but it's actually really cheap. It was going for right around like 180 to 200 raw, and now it's going for right around 250. So it climbed about 25% over the past week or two, which is not nothing, but it is a weaker one. So that could be one that people are sleeping on too.
You know what's funny about it? I think it's just quote unquote a weaker one. Like, people want to talk about the artwork for it because you see more of the back of the Charizard, but it's got 2 fan favorite Kanto starters. It's Charizard fighting the Venusaur. Yeah. And I feel like at the end of the day, like when Brilliant Stars is 10, 20 years old, the kind of, I don't know, just the artwork where, because Charizard's in it and Venusaur's in it, is gonna mean more to people than maybe a solo Charizard. Certainly more than, I don't know, I think that card looks cooler than the Obsidian Flames alt art.
But it's so interesting how cyclical I think the hobby is. Whenever there's a new set, and that new set has a certain star Pokemon, you can see all the previous cards of that same Pokemon just climb in value in almost the exact same way, which is what happened with the glory of Team Rocket, where Team Rocket cards climb and Mewtwo cards climb.
Right.
Now we're seeing the exact same thing happen. We saw that happen with Mega cards. Mega cards climb because Mega made a return. We're seeing Charizard cards climb because Charizard is making a return. If you're someone that is aware of these cycles, you can almost see like, oh, Rayquaza cards might climb.
Make predictions based on,
because whatever is coming out next, you can just sort of aim for that.
This also ties into what we were talking about 2 episodes ago with me buying, like, everyone gave such incredible feedback. Like, also shout outs to everyone that like came up to us during the West Coast Card Show or Collectors Expo or the RWT show. It's so crazy because there was a lot of people that talked about how they loved our debate over me buying the cases of Destined Rivals. I think this kind of plays back into it when I was talking about how the number one reason getting it now versus later is relevant is because of like the general populations and also understanding your own awareness factor or where your attention is at any given moment during whatever's going on in the hobby. So it's like, if you said, oh, I would pick up those Destined Rivals cases when they're cheaper, you would almost have to like write on the wall, hey, on March 2026, I will just pick up 2 cases, and know that you would do it no matter what the price is, because your attention is going to be focused on so many other things. And this cyclical nature that you're talking about with being able to see like what stuff is increasing in value or when value is catching up to like a current state, I notice is a pattern where it's almost like Pokemon is like waving a carrot on a stick for the general hobby, right? And whenever we see, oh, Destined Rivals is coming out, we go, look at these cool like Team Rocket cards. Oh, wait, I never finished getting all the original Team Rocket's Mewtwo or Team Rocket's Scyther from like these old sets, or like the rares from Team Rocket's Return. And if you have enough people have that like, oh, this set reminds me of these things, and I wanted to buy these things a long time ago, but then my attention got, put elsewhere. Now I'm going to go back to it. You can kind of, again, like be early on those things and make those purchases ahead of time, knowing that you or a bunch of other people will want that card in the near future, and the price is going to go up because the demand is going to spike.
Yeah, so this is something that's very interesting because it requires you to be self-aware of when something is cheap, the potential for it to be incredibly more expensive in the future. And that's hard for people to grasp.
Yes.
And it's easy for some, but it's hard for others. And it's not meant to be something that's easy, because you have to assume, hey, Obsidian Flames booster boxes are considered hot garbage for the longest time. Everyone remembers Obsidian Flames going for like $90.
Yes.
Because it was such a cheap set.
It was. I was upset. I thought I got too much. I almost wanted to. It's funny how I look back on whenever anyone makes a really good play on something, it's exactly what you just said. When I had like, we overbought cases, and then people didn't want to get Obsidian Flames from us because I feel like people were like, they opened a booster box or two and they're like, we're done with this set.
Yeah.
And I was so upset because I feel like I accidentally ordered too much. Like I thought I had this amount coming, but then I forgot I got 2 cases from here. And I ordered 4 cases from here, but I wrote down 2. And so I ended up getting all these extra cases. I paid like $90 a box or $100 a box. And I was like, ugh, I'd actually rather have $100. But now in the future, that happy mistake is like a blessing, because now I'm like, oh, I've got so many Obsidian Flames boxes still.
For 2 straight years, I think most people would be okay not wanting Obsidian Flames for a couple of reasons. It was available inside of like every single collection box. Like if you open up like a premium collection or random,
it would come with like 3 or 5 of them.
Yeah, Obsidian Flames was just one of those packs, and Scarlet and Violet base. Those were the 2 you could always count on to be inside of every single product.
Whatever thing, yeah.
And there are not a ton of hits inside of Obsidian Flames. It has the Charizard EX, and that's about it.
Yeah,
that's about
else?
it. There's
Even the art rares.
There's a couple of like random ones, which is the Pidgey line. The Pidgey line illustration rares are inside of that set, and I know those are pretty popular, but there really isn't that many.
No,
it has a very small illustration rare list.
The Pidgeot in the Pidgeotto art rares.
Yeah, because the Pidgeot actually has an EX SAR, but there is not anything else. If you're wondering, Obsidian Flames has 1 big chase card, and everything else is like under $10, which is the Charizard EX is the top, and everything else is cheap, and that's pretty common for most Charizard set. Like even if you go back to like Burning Shadows or like the older days, there's like 1 hit and it's Charizard.
It's Charizard, right? It's like it's like Pokemon knows, oh, we can actually throw in some other alt arts for less popular Pokemon because the weight of Charizard is so popular. It doesn't need like a Rayquaza backup or a Dragonite backup.
Yeah, which is what makes Phantasmal Flames kind of scary, actually.
Right. It's like they're going back on their on that, like, they want it to be pumped the same way. So Evolving Skies was like, from the power of the evolutions alone, should have been, that's all the alt arts you need. But then they had Rayquaza V Max. They had Dragonite in there as well. It's like, it didn't even need that much backup, but it had it. And then now for Phantasmal Flames, you have Charizard being backed up by Gengar. Like, this is, those 2 could be 2 separate sets easily and be successful. So yeah, the boxes are going to be crazy.
Yeah. I've already talked about this, but yeah, Phantasmal Flames really scares me because I do think it's like potentially over $300 a booster box at release, which is really, really scary. We almost hit that with Destined Rivals. There were some people pre-ordering booster boxes of Destined Rivals at release for $300, and now obviously Destined Rivals is back at $300 a booster box. But I think Phantasmal Flames has a good shot of being over $300, and that's not me hyping it up. That's me just predictably understanding where the market is currently at because of what's inside of the set.
And you say that, and it's funny. We'll still get comments being like, well, Jake, because you're saying that, even with that disclaimer, you're still going to hype it up because now people are going to be like, Jake. But you know what's so funny? You could just say the opposite. And we don't want to lie to everyone, right?
If I said the opposite, everyone would just say, Jake, you're wrong.
You're wrong.
I would just look like an idiot.
Everyone would say you're wrong. The prices would still be high. And then you would be like, oh, I knew it was going to be this way, but I just didn't want to hype it up extra. But then everyone will think you don't know what you're talking about. So yeah, you have to just say. I would look like the
biggest clown in the world if I did a video and I said, guys, Phantasmal Flames is going to be $100 a box, guys. It's so lame, you know?
That's true.
I would be roasted in the comment. Like, people know that it's going to be a good set. I don't need to hype it up. It just is what it is. It's that it's got Mega Gengar SIR. It's got Mega Charizard SIR. We've seen the Mega Charizard SIR, and I know that was leaked, and it's not confirmed to be the correct one, but I'm very, very confident that's the correct one. It has the right artist signature. It has the right texture. It all looks right, and a lot of people are saying, it's probably like an S tier SIR in terms of like the art itself.
Dude, I like how it looks. If it's got the right texture on it to where the holo catches it, I think it could be a beautiful card. I like how it incorporates like the full evolution line where you have like the Charmander in it, the Charmeleon, the Charizard. And honestly, if they do like a Mega Gengar in that same style, maybe make them look a little bit more epic. Like if they gave, I don't know, like a Kirigawa a shot at designing it, and then there's like a spooky like Ghastly and Haunter and a Gengar going into the Mega Gengar. I mean, people are gonna lose it. No one will even care what else is in the set. Those two cards will just be enough to anchor it.
Yeah, and the other thing that's coming out soon is the Mega Charizard X EX Ultra Premium Collection.
Yes.
It comes with 18 booster packs. I haven't seen the price on it, but I'm assuming it's going to be right around $120. And I just wanted to bring it up because we remember what happened with the previous Mega Charizard Ultra Premium Collection. I don't know if that same scenario is happening again because we're in kind of a different market. But if I can recall for the viewers, basically for the previous Mega Ultra Premium Collection, which has 3 Charizard Alt Art card, which are insane, by the way. That's 3 Alt Art card inside of a UPC.
When you say Mega Charizard,
I mean the Charizard
UPC. Okay, UPC. I just wanted to clarify that.
The previous Charizard UPC has 3 Alt Art cards inside of it.
Correct. This is the white box, guys, that has like kind of a orange, yellow, orangish yellow side flap to it.
Yeah,
whatever you
really cool Ultra Premium Collection.
Great collection.
Yeah, I liked it on release. I gave it a good review. Really cool box. 3 Alt Art cards is great. On release, it was going for over $200 a box.
Yes, and then people were getting it in shelves at like $119, $120, and then we were so inundated with copies of it. Everyone got enough of them themselves. Like Target shelves were flooded with them. Dude, I remember my local GameStop, which used to never have anything. They just had I think I still have it.
Charizard
I had a TikTok video of it, a wall of them, just a straight literal wall where no one could. I mean, now I don't know. Will people go if that is presented in today's market? Do we have enough people that will try to be like, oh, I'll buy 10 of these, I'll buy 20 of these? But I think what will happen, and you've pointed this out, and I completely agree with you, and it's the funny thing about human psychology. As soon as it just seems like it's everywhere, and people that do have the money, just like right now, trying to buy everything up, have the capability to buy it all up, they will just choose not to because
it's readily available. When something is readily available, you end up not picking it up.
Right.
But as soon as something looks really rare, suddenly it becomes more desirable.
Overbuy it.
Yeah, because I'll tell you, most people didn't care about Obsidian Flame booster boxes for 2 years, and suddenly now, I'm probably gonna guess people are gonna be asking you for more Obsidian Flames packs just because it's climbing now. That's it.
You know what's so funny? I underestimated 2 things. I wasn't wrong about them, but other people were definitely like, I would say, wrong in telling me not to pick up more. Like, I remember people at card shows selling the white boxes, the Charizard UPCs for like $70, $75.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'll buy them. And it was because the Charizard promos were unique, people were like, oh, it's overprinted, there's going to be too much of them. But I knew really at the end of the day, if you can only get it from these boxes, eventually these boxes will dry up. So I scooped them for that. And even if those promos weren't unique or they looked worse, I think I still would have picked them up because, and I guess this is the part where I was a little incorrect. I valued one thing over the unique Charizard promos, but it still is correct in that I just wanted them because they had Evolving Skies packs.
Yeah, they come with 3 Evolving Skies packs
the,
inside of them.
The pack selection of all the Sword and Shield packs inside those Charizard UPCs was insane. And I was like, wait, at $70, it makes sense to pick these up for the packs if they didn't even have the promos in them. Like I would have just bought them.
It was good value. Like if you break it apart, it's still more than $75 in terms of value.
Right. And that's even before Evolving Skies exploded like the way it did. Even at that point in time, I was like, oh, this is worth it to get those Evolving Skies packs.
Yeah. So what happened to the previous UPC was that it released and it stayed at $200 for the holiday season. I think it released around November or something for the holiday season of that year, which was maybe 3 years ago. It stayed at $200 for the holiday season, but then they restocked it in January and February and March, and it was restocked repeatedly enough that at a certain point, if you wanted a Charizard UPC, you probably had 2 in your collection. Like you open up one and you had one sealed, and if you see a wall of them at GameStop, you would be deterred by it. You wouldn't really want to pick up more. So they dropped in price consistently all the way till the following year's Black Friday, where they reached their all-time low of $75 a box at a convention. In a store at Costco, I think they were going for like 80 to 90.
Did it take that long? I felt like the drop was even quicker than that.
It's hard for something to drop really dramatically.
True.
Stores have to sell them, but I remember the drop, and it did drop quite fast.
Right.
Yeah, but that's to be expected. But that's showing how crazy the market can be. Is that it's a Charizard Ultra Premium collection with 3 alt art cards with Evolving Skies booster pack. Everyone knew that. Everyone knew that. It wasn't a secret.
Right.
And yet it still dropped to $75 a box.
Insane.
I don't know if that same scenario is going to happen again. I will agree with you that the market has changed.
Market is more savvy, and I feel like
they're more aware. They're more aware of these things.
Right. Our podcast exists, and with this being another cycle of it happening, if we just tell people, I don't know, like if these are everywhere, I just feel like people will buy them up, or at least people they just heard my story. And if people are listening, like, I won't like just buy hundreds and hundreds of them. I would like to see what kind of packs are in there, and
you'd want to see the promo cards that you
right
get, we don't know what
we don't know. Okay, that's what I was gonna say. Like, if the promo is completely just I'll say this: if they just do the same artwork and they just put a stamp on it, like what they're doing for that, you see the Moltres premium collection, it's the Team Rocket's Moltres. It's crazy because that is my favorite alt art. I like that alt art over the Giovanni's Mewtwo. But the fact that it's just, we put a stamp on it and that's how you know it came from the Moltres UPC, it doesn't really quite do it for me. And if they do that for the Charizard X EX UPC,
the Mega Charizard
Mega Charizard XEX SXE Phil, shout outs to Philip, then I don't know if I'd go like, I would just buy a ton of these. But certainly if something goes under, I don't know if stuff will go under MSRP, because that was my signal to buy earlier, right? Because it dropped so low that I was like, well, wait, these even MSRP for over 100. Why wouldn't I pick it up for under 100?
Yeah.
I just feel like in today's society, this was also in a time, remember when booster boxes on Pokemon Center were like a bad deal.
Yeah.
Now, Pokemon Center selling booster boxes, there's a line of 2 million people because they think it's a good deal. It is the good deal now. So do we even see this product be printed so much that it gets below MSRP? I just don't think that'll happen, but it could, because I'll say this could be why everyone's like, there was supposed to be reprints of Paldea Evolve. There was supposed to be reprints of Surging or Twilight that were supposed to put a dent in the market, even though, I don't know, have you seen a bunch of this new product? Like maybe they put a couple more booster bundles on the shelves, but it didn't do anything to make a dent. Prismatic is still pretty much holding strong. Maybe it drop like $1 or $2, but after a month or two of people opening, it's just going to go right back to where it was. I still don't think Prismatic will ever get below $4 or $5 a pack or whatever that one thing that we were predicting. That
I think it could absolutely drop to 6.
Is that what was 6 the magic number?
6 to me is close enough to MSRP. $5 is officially MSRP.
5 is okay. Well, then I would still say I just don't think it hits 5. And I know you were saying, and I know Dan was saying, like, oh, that's never happened in the history of Pokemon. And
yeah,
that's
it would be,
for
that's based on history.
Novel,
but
yeah.
yes, things have changed. I don't know if this will set a precedent. If Prismatic never reaches $5 a booster pack, that sets a precedent for the future. Is that, oh, this has not happened before, but we know it has happened now.
Now it can happen now.
We can know for sure that it's possible in the future for other sets to do the same.
I'll say this. There's 2 factors here, right? They would have needed to print as much Prismatic evolutions as how we saw those old school Charizard UPCs on the shelves everywhere. And if I'm not seeing it and I'm still like boots on the ground out, even just shopping for something like Costco, right? I shouldn't need to know the drop date, wait 8 hours in line to get limit 1, limit 2, or for some of those ones where scalpers can grab like a whole half a pallet. It's like I should comfortably be able to find Prismatic evolutions in the wild. And if I can't do that, there's no way it goes to $5 a pack. There's just no way for me. And and I'm speaking because you and me are really in it, right? Like, so there's no way the general hobbyist is even finding it like in the wild then. And so, but with that, I think if they had the ability to print the old school Charizard UPCs as much as they did, and they didn't print, the Prismatic evolutions like straight into the ground, could they have just been for this whole past year? Because again, Pokemon prints ahead of time, and that's what people don't get. Could they have just been printing these Mega Charizard X EX UPCs so that we have something that replicates the old Charizard UPC? Because that, if anything, that was the item, if you remember, that kind of did hit the reset button on popularity, where I remember stuff was hard to find on the shelves, Pokemon, any Pokemon product prior to that thing. Yeah. But when that happened and everyone saw it readily available, then you started to see other Pokemon product also readily available. It kind of reset the demand, like the hype syndrome on the hobby because of that psychological effect of it being readily available.
Yeah, if I look back into the timeline, I can see messages and comments, and I remember people saying, oh my goodness, this is a Charizard Ultra Premium collection. It's got 3 Charizard Alt-Art cards. I'm going to scoop up as many of these as possible.
Yep, I remember this.
But then people wane because they're like, hang on a second. I don't know if these are that good anymore.
It's everywhere, right?
Yeah, basically.
They flip-flopped.
If a Charizard Ultra Premium collection with 3 Charizard Alt-Art card, with every single pack from Sword and Shield with multiple Evolving Skies pack cannot sell out and is readily available, what will sell out? That's what the question. That's the question.
Yeah.
So my hope is that we see the same scenario, because I think it would be great if these would go for $80 in 12 months. I don't think they're going to go for $80 at release. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
But if by Black Friday of next year, they're readily available everywhere at Costco. Like, you and I can just take our shopping cart, walk into a Sam's Club, and see a pallet load of them, and they're not selling out immediately. That'd be great.
I would love that. Then more kids, more families, more people in the general hobby could get product. I would love if they shoved 2 or 3 Prismatic Evolutions packs in there. I don't know if they will, because it's not like a Prismatic set, but I mean, they could, right? It's like Pokemon's call what packs they put in there, and Prismatic is technically a Scarlet Violet set, and then more people would have access to Prismatic evolutions, because I mean, it's kind of crazy. I don't have a lot of the Prismatic Ultra Premium collections, because I only got like that out of my entire time being back in the Pokemon card hobby. That's probably the collection I picked up the least of, not because I didn't want to get more, but because I didn't have the ability to get more.
Yeah, they have
Charizard
they have not dropped those yet in major retail stores.
Even Celebrations UPCs, I feel like I picked up more of, and I even picked up more of and this is kind of slept on. People always forget about this product. You remember the long, the Sword and Shield base Ultra Premium collection that had the Zacian and Zamazenta on it?
Yes, that was the first Ultra Premium collection
of the Sword and Shield era. Yeah. I have I mean, I know I still have some sealed, and if people want those sealed, I think it's just the reason the price on those hasn't spiked is it's probably just not on a lot of people's, radar. But we'll put a picture of it up on the screen, and it's just the first kind of ultra premium collection for the Sword and Shield era.
Yeah,
and it was cool.
I have one of those sealed. It comes with the gold Zacian V and Zamazenta V.
Not gold, not gold metal, but like a gold.
Yeah, true
card.
gold. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and
not true. Well, true gold card.
Gold in design. True gold in design.
True gold in design, not gold in material.
I actually want to look up how much the Celebrations Ultra Premium collection is currently going on for. And I know people are actually sleeping on a bunch of other Ultra Premium collection. And this is actually an interesting topic, is actually the bad Ultra Premium collection might be the rarer ones. And I'll tell you some bad ones.
I get what you mean by that.
The Arceus V-Star Ultra Premium collection.
Yes.
That one is slept on because no one cares about it.
Right. And it just had an Arceus metal card. And it was an Arceus V metal card and an Arceus V-Star metal card. Dude, the crazy thing about that one is I think was that one only a GameStop exclusive or something like that?
Yeah. So there's 2 GameStop exclusive Ultra Premium collection. The first one was the Arceus V-Star one.
And the Greninja?
The Greninja V.
Gotcha.
The Greninja EX Ultra Premium collection. That one's really bad too. I love the design of it, but it's just a bad box.
I think people said this, and I said this in a video when that came out. It's because also the Greninja promos were like horrible, right?
Oh yeah, they weren't even promos. They're just like random cards.
Yeah,
and they threw in like
did they even put a stamp on them?
No.
It was the same V Greninja or EX.
Yeah, it's not an alt
right?
art card. It's nothing special.
Lame.
The metal card is the regular version of it. It's not special. They could have just put in the Twilight Masquerade one.
Yes.
In the metal. Just make it metal, and it won't even have to be a real card, and that would still make it cooler.
Right. People would have bought those more. But see, they didn't print a lot because I don't think I bought a lot of those. And actually, it's funny you just mentioned the metal card. I did, until you just said that, I forgot that there was. Is there a metal Greninja card in it?
Yeah, there's a metal Greninja card inside of the Greninja one.
Have you been to a card show where you've seen that metal Greninja card? I don't think I've seen one in person. I've seen the Arceus.
I'm sure there's available, but like it's a hard card to be desirable for. I know people care about one metal card.
It won't be if you don't see the it's funny you say that. It won't be 5 years from now when you don't see that metal card anywhere in a PSA 10.
It's the thing, it's like it's an interesting collectible where basically, do you care about a metal card? Because is that a true Pokemon card or not? There's one metal card that people really care about, and that is
Gold
the Charizard.
Charizard.
It's the Charizard one inside of the Celebrations UPC.
Right.
That one I think in a PSA 10 is thousands of dollars.
Grand. Yeah. People, I would say people also care about the gold Pikachu in it too. Maybe a little less, but I mean Pikachu is the
I just looked up the price, and the Celebrations Ultra Premium collections.
Let me guess.
Sponsored by Collectr.
Sponsored by Collectr. Thank you. And the Collectr price is gonna be at $600.
$850 for the Celebrations Ultra Premium collection.
$850.
Yeah. But that's not surprising. We're hitting close to the 30th anniversary. I think that's about right. Right around this time for the previous anniversary, right? For the 20th anniversary, right around this time, 20th anniversary ETBs reached close to $800. If that makes sense. The Generations ETB were close to $800 the year or right before the 20th.
You know, it's so funny. It's so funny that you're bringing that up. I remember picking up my Generations ETB then for my ETB wall for around that price. I thought I had overpaid at some point. Then I saw them hit 1,000, and then I was so mad about maybe 6 months to a year ago. You know, when before this like Pokemon boom, I saw those old school Generations ETBs. You could pick them up for $500 or $600. They had dropped to that. But now, because we're in this Pokemon like super hype market, the card show I was at, the West Coast card show, I saw people selling the Generations ETB, and now it's like over, I don't know, $1,300, $1,400. Wait, can you check the ETB? What?
It says it's $2,200, dude.
It might have been up to $2,000.
Oh wow! Oh my God, you're right. It just spiked. It just spiked.
Correct.
So your price
it was
wrong.
Low.
It was going for right around $1,200 to $1,300 3 months ago.
Yeah.
And it just doubled in price. Because I'll be honest, I thought about this too, which was basically, how is this box only $1,000, $1,100 when, you know, the 151 Pokemon Center ETB This one right here is going for like 800 to 900.
Right.
You have to respect the older sets.
You have to, because they're just way harder to find. And Generations was still a cool set. I never got to open one. I just have my one sealed. Actually, I think I have two sealed, because I bought one that kind of looked a little rough, and then I bought another one later that looked a little clean. And I guess now I could sell one for $2,000. Isn't that insane?
It is insane. Card Lounge will be right back after this brief message from our sponsor. A huge thank you to Collectr for sponsoring today's episode of the Card Lounge podcast. Collectr is the ultimate app to track value and manage your collection like a pro. Imagine this, you're at a card show and you need to know the value of a card immediately. You can scan the cards in seconds. Just point your phone and boom, the card name, set, rarity, and price. You have all of the insight on the current state of the Pokemon card market in the palm of your hand. Want to know the value of your collection today? Collectr pulls live price data from real-time sales, so you're always locked in on the current market value. No more digging through sold listings. Your collection digitized and organized with zero hassle. With real-time portfolio tracking, you'll see your total collection value, daily movers, and price history over time. You can even add cards to your watch list so you remember what you wanted to pick up. Collectr also offers an amazing platform to show off your collection to others. You can even see my whole entire collection showcase on the Collectr app. Try out Collectr today. It's available for download on iOS and Android. Basically, I agree with you. Is that basically if the Pokemon Center 151 ETB is going for $900 to $1,000 already, the Generations one cannot be the same price.
Right. It just can't.
It's 5 years. It's actually way older. It's like 8 years older. An ETB that's 8 years older and way more rare cannot be the same price as an ETB today.
Right. And Jake is saying that like it's not because it's so much. It's older, so it's automatic. It's older, so it's harder to find, and it just truly is harder to find.
It is way more rare. A Generations ETB is more rare than
a 151 ETB.
Yeah, that's just the case of it. There's just way more of it. So it doesn't make sense for them to be the same price. And when that happens, some of the people are going to go back and pick up those older ETBs. And that makes sense. So some of the older ones have to start rising. And it takes a couple of people to pick up those ETBs or boxes or any product or any card, in fact, for the market to start recognize, hang on, someone just bought 3 of these. Are there 3 more to replace it? And there might not be.
There might. So you know what's so funny? It's not even about market manipulation at that point. It's like when I said I had looked and I felt bad that I bought my Generations ETB at like 800-900, it's because I saw an ETB at 500-600, and this was like 6 months ago. And I was like, how can it be later and the price has gone down? Guys, that should have been a signal to me to just buy that ETB. I would have dollar cost averaged, and my buy-in for all my Generations ETBs would be lower. And I know it's a super rare and an amazing, it's a really cool looking ETB because it's got the silhouettes of all the Pokemon in it. The original Kanto, it's got the Pikachu like silhouette as like the main kind of image on it. But, you know, I'm not completely driven in this hobby, guys, by money. So, you know, I noticed that it was less and I just went, well, I already bought mine, so someone can pick it up for cheap. And I mean, in the last 6 months, if you were someone that picked up a Generations ETB for $500-600 or less, you made a really good decision because now they're $2,000 a pop.
Yeah, so that's what you mean when you say like you're a collector. Is that you saw that, you made a mental note and be like, huh, that's pretty cheap for that product. I'm glad I have one, and you just moved on.
Correct.
You know, the other way is being like, oh my goodness, I have to pick this up right now to potentially take one off the market or something of that nature. Right. I'm gonna make one more call out, okay? I think this one slept on, and I don't know if this is like an early call or if I'm late to it. Maybe I'm late to it. It is the Pokemon Celebrations Pokemon Center exclusive ETB, which was the first time they ever did. Actually, was it the first time they ever did a Pokemon Center exclusive ETB? Well, it's a completely unique one. You know, it's the weird ETB where it doesn't fit on your ETB wall.
I know. There was one before. Did Pokemon Go come out after Celebrations?
Did Pokemon Go come out after Celebration? Yes, it did.
Okay.
No. Wait. Pokemon Go, like the game?
Pokemon Go, the set. The card set.
Oh, the Pokemon Go, the set. Yes, it came out after Celebration.
Okay, because to answer your question, Pokemon Go ETB, there's a really weird,
Yeah,
awkward big one.
the super long one.
But I think there was a weird, awkward shaped one before Celebrations. Do you know what it is?
I do not.
It's technically before Pokemon Center did the Pokemon Center exclusive ones, because they started that with, what was it? Chilling Rain.
Okay, you're the
I
ETB
believe.
expert. You tell me.
Dude, there was a Sword and Shield. They called it, because it wasn't a Pokemon Center exclusive, but they called it an ETB Plus. I don't know. We'll let
For
the
what
comments keep me honest.
Tell me the set.
For Sword and Shield base.
Sword and Shield base had a Sword and Shield Plus.
Right. This is beyond the UPC.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
It's like a black. Yes.
It's the super black one.
It's awkwardly long, so it also doesn't fit on the wall.
I don't know if it's an ETB. Is it called an ETB? I know what you're talking about. I have those inside of my collection.
I remember picking them up off the Target shelf like it was yesterday.
I thought that they were.
It's an ETB.
I thought it was called a branch of the Ultra Premium Collection, because I think you just get the
branch of the Ultra Premium Collection?
Yeah, the Zamazenta and the Zacian Ultra Premium Collection, because that black one is just that, but half of it. Is it not?
It's an ETB.
I will look it up.
I want to say it's called an ETB Plus, and it's eventually it's the size that eventually became how they made those.
Oh my God,
Pokemon
you're right.
Center. Yeah,
you're right.
Man.
It's called a Sword and Shield Elite Trainer Box Plus Zamazenta and Zacian.
Yeah.
I have those as well.
And it's weird because they made them weirdly shaped, but they made them.
You know, those are not climbing at all.
Exactly, because people like you are unaware.
Oh, actually,
of
you know, they are climbing, but like not in the same way as other stuff.
They're super rare. We probably just told 10,000 people about it, and if they don't have one in their ETB collection, they're gonna go pick one up tomorrow.
If you want to pick one up, I'm going to tell you, we're not market manipulating it.
Right,
yes, we do have it in our collection, but it's like $120 in ETB. It's not that bad of a product in terms of like the price, I guess.
Correct. But yeah, card loungers, if you're trying to get every single ETB and you're missing the Sword and Shield ETB Plus ones, now's probably the cheapest you're going to ever get them. So, you know, I would get them now.
I mean, I knew you were right on that one, which is why I'm not going to be like, Rob, you're wrong on that. I know they were an ultra premium collection part or something, because I know you're the ETB expert, so I'm not going to correct you on that, because you know them, because you probably stare at them way more often than I do. I
wouldn't even say I'm like an expert, but
yeah, I know I have them somewhere. Yeah. I don't even have them on display because they're a pitch black box, so they don't look great on display.
Right. I mean, I still agree with your point. Your original point being that you think people are sleeping on the Celebrations, the Pokemon Center. See, I don't know if those are called ETB pluses too. We'll just call them that. Like the big fat Celebrations ETB is definitely something that I think a lot of people don't have in their collection. Yeah. And you know what was even dumb about it? I remember opening one up for a video. I think the contents is it just came with an extra 2 Sword and Shield packs and maybe an extra 2 or 3 Celebrations packs.
Yeah.
And it's all stuff that still could have fit in a regular ETB shape. But
a regular ETB can still fit probably double the amount of booster packs.
Sure.
They just decided to make it bigger to represent the plusness of it. Because it wouldn't be more plus if it wasn't plus.
Yeah. I really like whenever they do something weird with the ETBs, it just bugs me. Honestly, the most buggy thing, or the thing that like irks me the most, is just that they never gave the one set in XY an ETB, the Charizard set. Oh my gosh, why am I blanking on what is the Charizard set in XY?
An XY Charizard set.
Not Obsidian Flashfire.
Oh, Flashfire didn't have an ETB?
There's no Flashfire ETB.
So I don't know that. I did not know that.
Think about it.
Because I'm not an ETB collector, but
yeah.
That is interesting. Why did they skip ETB for that?
They could have had a Charizard on the ETB. It would have been a highly popular, easy to sell product. You have the Phantom Forces one, the set after, like the Mega Gengars on it. And before it, I think you have like I don't remember the order exactly because I wasn't around then, but you know, there's Lucario for Furious Fist.
Oh yeah, I know there are ETBs that came out way before that, because Plasma Storm and way older ETBs. So they existed before Flashfire, but they stopped for Flashfire.
Correct.
And then they kept going.
XY base had the Xerneas and the Yveltal, the red and the blue one.
Yeah.
So they had them all for XY, and then for Flashfire, they just skipped giving them an ETB.
Yeah, that is really weird. I did not know that.
It bugs me because when I see them on the wall, because
You're
I've got
missing
all
from
the sudden,
some sets, basically.
I am, but like that one is just like a purposeful miss that I just feel like, I mean, if Pokemon just could create a Flashfire ETB just so I could have that on the wall, I would love them.
It'll be interesting
forever.
because, you know, like the next discussion is what are they going to do for the 30th anniversary, and you and I have talked a little bit about this.
Let's talk about it.
But basically, I think the hype is going to deflate 2 to 3 months after the release of the 30th anniversary.
Yes.
It's going to keep snowballing. It's going to keep snowballing as we build up hype for, you know, the 30th anniversary,
Right.
all the way till the release of the 30th anniversary. Obviously, everyone's going to pick it up.
Yep.
But once they have had their appetite filled, I think it's going to deflate 2 to 3 months after the 30th anniversary because there's nothing else to be hyped for. Like, this would feel like the peak.
The peak. Yeah, 30th anniversary will be the peak. I completely agree with what you were saying. I would have said it would have been slightly different had I not seen the mega stuff. Like, if they weren't doing this little inner mega set, I would have said, oh, there'd be a little hype decrease before the 30th anniversary, and then it would shoot back up. I think prices are gonna keep going. We're still snowballing all the way into the 30th anniversary. And then eventually just the train is going to be chugging so fast that the wheels are just going to come off the tracks. Because if they print 30th anniversary the way they printed celebration stuff, it will be everywhere in all of it. In fact, again, guys, when people say Twilight Masquerade, Paldea, Surging, all this stuff is underprinted prismatic evolutions, and everyone's like, oh, Pokemon's saying they're going to print more. They can't do that at max capacity, guys. And when they are printing stuff that's supposed to come out next year and the year after, you have to remember, guys, what they are printing now is stuff that comes out way later. They print so much in advance that they can't anticipate when there's a hype market because they were printing it when it was in a non-hype market, right? That's why Pokemon can never address hype markets with a immediate supply correction. They can go, okay, we're going to leave our factory printers running for an extra hour or two, but they cannot realistically staff a factory, guys, where people have to work in it 24/7 and people have to eat, sleep, and breathe, you know? So
I got something interesting to talk about on that, which is basically there is proof now that Pokemon is utilizing sports card factories or subleasing them.
we talked about, because those Pokemon cards that had the football players.
Oh,
names,
So they're trying to print as much as they can.
Exactly, guys. Like they are doing everything possible, but even then, so when people say that to me, they go, oh, and that's why they're going to overprint and all this is going to be useless. No, that's a signal as to they still can't meet demand, because if they're having to borrow from Panini and other places, that is when Panini is on a down cycle. So you would have to kind of know about like the sports card world and what's happening with the licensing guys. And that's something that, like, you know, we could get into, but basically Topps is going to take over the professional licensing for like football and I think basketball. And so Panini kind of is like, okay, can we make a little extra money if Pokemon uses our printers? Sure. But they still need to print their sports cards. They might give them like an extra hour or two on their, you know, printing presses, but they're not just like clearing out all the sports cards and going, yeah, let's print Pokemon. Like they have their cards to print for their business to run as well.
Yeah, so the reason
enough.
we're bringing up this story is basically a couple of people have found that in the text string of their Pokemon cards, there is an imprint of football players' names to showcase that whoever was printing at the factory did not clean the machines properly, but they were printing sport cards before they were printing Pokemon cards, which means both are printed at the same factory, at some factories, which makes sense is that the Pokemon company is trying to print as much as they can, and they're going to try to print Pokemon cards whenever a machine to print cards is available. So that's what they're currently doing. And we'll see if it's enough, but it might reach a point where right now, every single printing machine that's printing trading cards is being utilized to its max capacity.
I remember when that news, I mean, because I feel like that story is kind of old now, and I wonder what happened to those cards. I'm assuming the owner probably had to have gotten
those are pretty cool era cards. Those are cool. I don't know if they're like thousands of dollar cool, but I think someone would absolutely want something like that because it's a fun piece of history to recognize, hey, there's a period of time, specifically right now,
when
where
Pokemon was so hyped
Yeah.
that they had to use a football. Yeah, because I think there was like a card where, you know what, if it had been on a bigger card, I think that would have done it. Like if there was like because I think these were on like commons or uncommons, and
Yeah.
you could kind of see like Tua, Tagovailoa. I think he's like the quarterback for the Miami Dolphins.
Sure.
If that was on like a Pikachu or like a Charizard, and people would call it like the Tuazard, that would definitely be something that would go up on Golden, like the Cheetozard, and get, I don't know, like $80,000 for it for sure.
Yeah, but like we're seeing a lot of stuff like that, which is what you're currently bringing up with like the Cheetos Charizard selling for like 90 grand or something. But right now, the mania is so high that people are willing to collect sub items of Pokemon cards that are still highly desirable. We're talking about things like the Pokemon magazines, Pokemon pins,
the Hershey's,
the
and little
Hershey's one,
wrappers
right?
for the kisses.
If you found a Charizard, Pikachu, or Mew, I know like some of the Hershey's are very desirable. But it's just anything that is sub Pokemon is still really desirable, even if it's not Pokemon cards. And we've been talking about these, the graded guard drama, which was basically some rare graded guards for protecting your PSA slabs are even going for $300 because they're limited edition.
Right.
You know?
And Min is trying to do his best to get out more of the guards to people. And I just feel like it's so silly for people to give him crap for it. I remember like one of the comments, there's one where one guy was like, you said these were limited, which doesn't mean it's like a final print run. Limited is like, I mean, the McRib is limited. And guess what? Every year, the McRib comes back. It's not like people go, what? You're bringing the McRib back. You promised it would never happen again. But I just feel like Min is getting so much heat just because he's trying to get more. Like they did a Labyrinth drop, and I waited in line for it. I didn't get any. And it's like kind of like, it's tough to just get some cool like, you know, graded guards to protect your slabs. But, you know, I'm certainly also not going to pay $300 to get a thing that goes over my slab to protect it. I mean, when I can just protect it with, you know, one of the other regular graded guards.
Yeah, so that's what happened to me too, was that on some of the more recent graded guard drops, because everyone now sees graded guards as collectibles, and which is basically just a sub of the Pokemon genre. It's the same thing.
He caters to that, to us, the collectors, and now we have made it, not Min, not the graded guard company. We have somehow inflated given him a secondary market for these
as
guards.
Collectibles in the exact same way that Pokemon cards are, in a way that people have now caught on to, that the rare limited edition ones from years ago are very expensive because people like to bling out their more expensive cards. And now when I wait in line, and it's the exact same thing, when there is a new limited edition graded guard, the wait line is 2 hours long. If you log in at 9 in the morning, you're there until 11 to 12 to maybe get a couple. And at that point, I'm like, okay, I'm not picking these up anymore. But that's ridiculous of how the mania has spread.
Yeah. And you can just be adjacent to Pokemon cards. Not even really. Well, yeah, because his thing protects Pokemon cards, but it also protects sports cards.
Like, it's just generic PSA,
not even,
BGS.
He's a PSA, BGS, CGC slab protection company. And the Pokemon mania has affected him so much that he's like, you know, but also, well, we say affected. He's also he's got to be making money, like hand over fist. So it's like, it's good for him because now he's got a product that's so desirable that if he's like, yo, if I want to make 1,000 of these, he knows exactly how much it costs and he knows he can go sell it. And he doesn't need to hype the price up to $100 because people are selling it for $300. Like, he's going to just sell it at his MSRP and he'll make his money. But he knows that is money that can be made whenever he wants to kind of flip that switch, you know?
Yeah. How about we do our own collectible? We do our own Card Lounge exclusive limited edition TCG.
No.
If we did a limited
Card slab
lounge,
protectors?
No, a limited Card Lounge card where we both sign the card and it's like our own exclusive card.
Oh,
maybe we'll do that for a Christmas giveaway or something.
Yeah.
But it'd be cool. But that'd be something that I'm sure people just like collectibles. That's the thing. People just like limited edition collectibles.
I told Min we should do a Card Lounge graded guard.
Yeah,
He's
our
got
own
to
de-
get back to me. He's
it's
got to
our,
get
it's
back
our,
to me.
it's like our own design, kind of like how some famous celebrities would have like their own McDonald's burger, like their
Yeah.
version of burger.
Yeah, just like a cool
Yeah, I get it.
collab. And we'll make enough so that hopefully everyone can get some. I mean, well, it's not up to us. I
Yeah,
guess
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just up to if, Graded
Well,
Guard wants to
spoilers
do
now.
it.
That contract is ruined
Yeah.
because
Yeah, if we say, well, no, or it could
we're not
be-
under NDA.
We're not. Yeah. We're not. We like Graded Guards are like a cool. There's other, I guess, slab protection companies that we could theoretically also work with to like get done some sort of like cool card lounge. I don't know, collab protective. Like slab protection, but I think one of the things that Min is doing right with Graded Guard is he's tuned into that kind of like the I guess just the Pokemon hobby. Like I see him commenting on like popular videos within the space. Like I see, Graded Guard representation when I go out to like cons and shows, and he's doing the right thing by making his product be something that it's like, oh, if you have slabs or you have a collection, you want my product to like help protect your product. And, that's smart. That's smart business.
Yeah. So I've talked to him a lot too, and we're just collectors. So I've done some trades with him where we traded non-Pokemon cards. Like I think we traded some anime cards because we like the same animes,
Yeah.
and those cards are cool too. But the interesting thing is I collect a lot of stuff. You do too. We are just collectors at heart. Is that I've seen your collection. You have shoes and magazines and all kinds of stuff inside of your collection. I have the same thing. I have records signed by musicians that I like.
Yeah.
I have comic books too.
You have those
yeah.
Funkos with
Yeah,
all the
I have the,
Avatar, The Last Airbender.
Yeah, I have
Those are
a
cool.
complete set of the Avatar: The Last Airbender Funkos,
Yeah.
autographed by all of the
Each
voice
of the
actors,
voice
which
actors.
I really like.
Yeah,
Because
those are cool.
there aren't a lot of Avatar: The Last Airbender collectibles, so that's one thing that I have. But basically, what I'm trying to say is that other collectibles haven't really been popping off. Pokemon did, which is really cool. But if you've been collecting anything else, like most of it is doing okay, but like it's not really that hot.
I heard Funkos is going down.
Oh yeah,
I've heard
Funkos is
prices
like
for
really,
Funkos is-
really bad.
Yeah.
But that's basically it. We got very lucky in collecting one thing that got really, really hot.
Mhm.
But not everything can be hot. TCG is, and I know where you're going with this. Is that I saw your eyes, and you're about to say there's an Avatar: The Last Airbender
For
Magic the Gathering set,
yeah.
and those have been popping off too. Is that any outside of their universe of Magic the Gathering, all of those sets are really, really hot.
Yeah.
The Final Fantasy one is really hot. The Fallout one.
Lord of the Rings was
Lord of the
huge,
Rings was insane.
obviously.
And that's no surprise to anyone
Yeah.
because people love Lord of the Rings. I think the weakest one may have, God, I'm thinking of it. Assassin's Creed. I think even that wasn't even bad. It was just the weaker one.
Sure.
I think. But they've all been really hot. I know
Yeah.
Spider-Man is insane.
Dude,
the collector box is already over $1,000.
I'm a big Spider-Man fan, and I just want to see what kind of cool cards you can get inside. I mean, I was a big Final Fantasy fan, and growing up, I played the Final Fantasy games, so I am trying to get like again, like you said, like beyond Pokemon, it's like I'm having to spend money trying to get the Final Fantasy Surge foils where the character is in front of the Roman numeral, because I think those just look really cool. So if I got
that'd
one
be a
of
cool
each
set
one,
to have on a wall. I get that.
exactly right. So it's like I'm trying to go for that right now.
Do you know why the chocobos are so expensive? So this
they're limited.
This is our designated, we're talking about something besides Pokemon segment. Why are they so expensive? The chocobos inside of the Magic the Gathering set, I've seen them go for right around 5,000 each or something.
Yeah.
Or 2,000 to 5,000.
I would say so. They have all the different neon colors, right? And I think there's ones that are rarer than other ones. They're not exactly serialized like the serialized chocobo. So
there are serialized chocobos and
there's-
non-serialized ones, but even
Correct.
the non-serialized ones are still
going-
thousands of dollars.
correct, because they're rare. I mean,
Are they that rare?
Yeah, they only put one in every like X amount of collector boosters. There's only Y amount of collector boosters. So even though they're not serial, I would say like I'm trying to think, because again, my proficiency isn't in Magic the Gathering.
Right.
But if I had to guess, like the black chocobo, for example, right?
Japanese exclusive.
Is a Japanese one that you can find in the English collector boosters, but it's harder to find, so it commands more of a price. Like if I open, let's say I opened 1,000 collector booster boxes, each one having 12 packs, you might find 2 pink neon, but only 1 black. So the black one's going to be like almost twice is going to be a lot more expensive.
Okay, I get it. So basically, I was thinking more of it. Is there a cultural reason why the chocobos are more expensive? Yes, they are very rare. But I get what you're saying is that they are that rare. Is that if I go on TCG Player, I might see 5 listings. Is that it's hard to find any.
Correct. Like you have the whole world pulling packs constantly. And one of these come up every... these are much harder to pull than your Moonbryon from Evolving Skies.
Yeah.
These are even harder to pull than a manga from One Piece TCG. Like these are like
they're not even serialized.
And they're not even serialized.
There is a serialized version, which is scary.
They're little mini chases that are like, there's maybe I don't know how many black chocobos. I mean, if there's serialized gold ones at 77 and that's it in the entire world, the black ones, maybe there's like 300 or 400. The pink one, maybe 5 or 6. And then the green one and the yellow one, like maybe 700 each, it's if they printed like 50,000 of them, then we'd see more online and people would be pulling them and then the price would be lower. And as far as to answer your question about significant like relevance, I mean, chocobos has been in the game of Final Fantasy
they're iconic in the game.
And they made them look like neon colored or whatever, so they kind of look cool. Like I have a buddy that he's got like already like an entire set outside of the serialized one in a black label. So he just like, the amount of money that is crazy. But it's like a collector, like a purist collector's fantasy to have like these chocobo chases in a set and trying to like catch them all, just like Pokemon.
I don't collect Magic the Gathering card, and even I can see the coolness of having a color set of them on display.
Honestly, that would be cool. I would want to collect them,
but
if
it would
I
be
wasn't
like 20
priced
grand
out
to
of
get it. Exactly.
If I knew I could get them for like if they were the same card and printed way more, and I was like, oh, okay, the black one's gonna be 1,000. I'll bite the bullet, but I can trade for the red or the pink one, and I can get the neon blue one and the neon green one. If these were like $100s cards, I would try to collect a set. But because they're like multi-thousand, like above 5-figure cards, like to try to collect them all, it's just like I'm priced out of trying to collect that as a set. If I wasn't, I would totally try to go for it. Yeah,
so this is the interesting thing where it showcases where the hobby can be, is that in Pokemon, we have chase cards, but they're not that expensive. Whereas other sets or One Piece and Magic the Gathering, they have thousands of dollar chase cards.
Well, is that changing? This is the perfect segue into, did you see a Pokemon chase that maybe isn't serialized, but we know exactly how many there are in existence, kind of have a record-breaking sale?
You're talking about the Mew?
The black label Mew.
Yeah. How much is it going for? How much did it sell for?
It sold, and I guess there was speculation over the last 48 hours on if this was truly paid or not. I saw a post. So again, this is like, I'm not saying this confirmed until it's like super, the news is everywhere, but I did see a post where it said confirmed paid for $125,000 for that Mew.
$125,000.
Dude, you could get a first edition Zard.
I just did that face just for the screenshot or the thumbnail.
Are we gonna put that in the short?
But
the clip.
I'm surprised. I would have said 50 grand max.
Oh yeah, I should have let you guess first.
It's still
It's
still a really cool card.
It is.
I would not drop that for that card just yet for a couple of reasons.
Same.
Reason number one, there's still a chance that it could become a Japanese or English version of it in the next year or two. It's not out of the question. It's possible for it to have that release, and that would tank the market on it.
Right.
It's not impossible.
It's not impossible, right.
So that's the thing that I still leave it on, is that risk is still possible.
Yeah, just like that should have been in that guy's head that bought that $300 graded guard, that it should still be possible that graded guard could print more limited edition graded guards.
Yeah, I would not drop $300 on any graded guard because, it's a piece of plastic, but I always knew there's always a chance they can print more. That's the thing. They can always print more.
So the Mew, they can't print any more of the Chinese Mew.
But they can't
think the
print
artwork could be used in a promo for English or Japan.
Yeah, absolutely. Imagine a 30th anniversary ultra premium collection coming out next year with that Mew EX as the promo card. I could see that being possible.
Hey, can I play devil's advocate to you for a lot of people are saying that the buyer won because $125,000 and or sorry, the seller won because he made that much money. The buyer though, if the buyer is this collector that also collected sports cards and knows like what a rookie Mickey Mantle is worth and knows that Pokemon has only been around for 30 years, but what about when Pokemon's been around for 50 years?
Oh, I know what you're trying to say.
And the Mew, it's the first limited edition card, even though it's not serialized, where we know the
okay,
exact
I'm gonna correct this. It's not the first limited edition one. We've actually had many limited edition cards in Japanese for sure. For instance, the Vaporeon VMAX, Flareon VMAX, and
those
Pulsion,
I do. See
those are limited to.
Okay, fair.
And there's lots of limited cards where they do like 600 Charizard, 1,200 Mewtwo's for a prize card.
Yes, I do know what you're talking about. Like, but you know what? Even those though, I do think because I've seen those like the prize Mega Lucario or the Lucario, or there's a prize Charizard V Max, but you know it's like worth way more because it'll say on the eBay post that it's like for a special winner thing.
Yeah.
But it's not a unique artwork.
Because they reprinted it in English. Those promos, like the Vaporeon VMAX, the Flareon VMAX, Jolteon VMAX, those were limited in Japanese to winners of tournaments, but they're available in English.
You couldn't pull those in EV Heroes.
Yeah.
You're right. And then they came out in our the
premium collection, which is the Japanese ones still have a little bit of a premium because they're limited to 600 or whatever amount copies.
Right.
So they're still really rare, but the English version is readily available. So that's how a secondary version of a card could tank the market on a card, basically.
Okay, so let's say this then specifically for I guess I'll say this, for Mew and for the Chinese market, it's the first kind of limited
It is really
card.
cool. I think it's really cool. I think at $125,000 it's overrated, and I would not spend that on that card.
I agree.
But I can say I understand that person, and whoever has that money has FU amount of money.
Right. They probably have that, and I think they're not like dumb in trying to flip this card. Like
no. This is a card that they love this card.
I gotta assume that with this being the first ever Black Label copy of it, they are banking on the fact that this will be a grail of grails one day. The same way that we look at a first edition base set Zard, the same way that we look at a Pikachu Illustrator, the Kangaskhan, right? The trophy Kangaskhan. There's certain cards, regardless of how much of the general hobby understands its rarity or its history, have a certain price point attached to them due to the provenance of the card, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like this Mew being a lottery system Mew and being released like 150 every single month until October, it's kind of like we are kind of witnessing history being built. And I'm wondering if other people are seeing it that way, because I could see it being this thing where that Mew is like, I don't know, yeah, seen as this like trophy grail card and maybe is worth $500,000 one day. Certainly not anywhere in the near future, but one day, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So it is rare, but
and
basically
now he has it.
1,500 is a small number, but it's not a insignificant number. It's still quite a few copies of this card, and they're still adding more. So as you were saying, 150 more copies of it are being added to the market this month. And imagine if all 150 copies get sent to BGS. I'm sure some of them might come out as Black Label.
Yeah.
These are really premium cards, so I'm sure they did the centering on these perfect. I've been seeing tens of these appear quite often.
Sure.
They're out there because these are kept in perfect condition because everyone knows how expensive and rare these cards are. These are not your mom and pop cards.
Yeah.
So because they're kept so perfectly and because they're printed with such high quality, I'm assuming there's probably going to be more Black Label copies of it. And I don't think they're all going to go for 125K. I'm sure whoever bought it, they absolutely have the money and they love this card. And you and I know these people. I've seen people out there where they have 30 Black Label Poncho Pikachus or something of that nature. These people just have those.
Yeah.
They're so rich that they make us look like insignificant peons.
Yeah, right.
Compared to
These
their
would be like
collections.
your like Kimmys of the world.
Yeah.
Shout outs to Kimmy, but it's like
I think that's the exact
your
person I was
collection,
thinking.
of
with that
course, because
collection.
like and there's certainly enough of like the true collectors out there where if they're, you know, going to be battling in a bidding war, like say against Kimmy, or there's other people that maybe we don't know because maybe they don't show as much of their collection on social media. There's still going to be the fact that if it just takes two, right? To get the price up on any collectible item, it just takes two really rich people that
Battling it
both
out.
really want it to battle it out. And then there could be a wave of like, or a line of 10 to 20 to 100 other rich people that are like, all right, I'm tapping out at 80K. I'm tapping out at 100,000. And they're willing to take it up to 121 to 122 to 123. And then, you know, for us, we're just kind of like, I would love that Mew in my collection, but I just can't afford it.
Do you remember when we talked about how we would like combine our money to get one copy of it?
We should. Okay.
I don't think we can do that anymore.
Dude,
like we might be outpriced on the market already.
It's funny. I don't know if we ever covered this on the pod. I thought I know I said on the pod, I thought I had a copy coming because people were just treating this as like a $3,000-$4,000. People thought that price was like overinflated. Now they see this graded price. I mean, who knows what raw copies will go for. But I had a buddy who said he was going to be buying a couple because he was in China at the time when stuff was dropping. And then he just never, I guess he couldn't close the deal on them because also there was authentication issues revolving around what was being presented to him. And then later we saw what happened to Jar Chomp with his copy. So it's like he didn't scoop me a copy because he didn't feel confident what he had access to was 100% the real thing. And look, and Jar Chomp, I think, was one of the guys who bought one of the early, like the first 150 or maybe the second batch of 150. And then his ended up like that. That means people have been faking these already to a really good degree from the beginning. So those fakes are all like flying around out there. Maybe some people have already transacted and bought fakes and they don't even know it yet. Oh yeah. And they're just
so Jar Chomp is a seasoned collector. He knows what he's looking at when he's looking at a card. And if he's able to be fooled by it, we can be fooled by it because we have never held one in our hand, so we don't know what it looks like.
What's it look like?
You know? And if these fakes have good texturing on them, it might fool us.
Texture, and they have the, you know, I know
the Pokemon stamp on the bottom.
Pokemon thing, they replicated that, and it's like, man, if
they would because it's a $10,000 card. If you can fake one and make 10 grand off of it, why not? It's a piece of cardboard, you know?
Yeah, so it's scary. So guys, again, always be very vigilant. Always buy from, you know, trusted sellers. You know, they're again, when money is in the hobby, that is when scammers and charlatans and bad actors will come out to play. Speaking of that, there is a new scam out there that is like permeating the online like comment section.
Okay, tell me about the scam.
Dude, it is like, it's kind of diabolical because it almost got me because it's all based on like TikTok and IG and people that are like, okay, in the comment section, there will be and I guess where I first started to see this proliferate a lot is on TikTok, because one thing changed with TikTok that I think has like affected a lot of the scammers that might operate solely through that social media platform. And that's, you can have pictures as comments now. You can't do that on Instagram or on YouTube.
Okay, I think I've seen some people affected by this scam.
Yep.
So tell me through the basics of the scam.
So TLDR, so everyone pay attention because you don't want to get duped by this. I have gotten messages from other creators being like, hey, are you interested in these cards? And I've seen this on other creators' pages. Nerdy Bird is someone that like jumps out at me because I've just seen it like almost on every post he's made where someone will leave a comment and it'll be a picture of a nice binder of cards. You might see a Charizard, you might see some gold stars, you just see some shiny cardboard.
Okay.
And someone will leave a message because you can have a picture and you can have words attached to it.
Okay.
And it'll say something like, oh, I just found an old Pokemon card collection, or my mom just found my late brother's Pokemon card collection. He just recently passed, or he just recently got sick, and we're just trying to find a fellow Pokemon collector or someone that loves Pokemon to give these to, or to just sell them at like a really good deal. And the first time I ever saw that on one of my own videos, I commented, I was like, oh, like sorry to hear that, or if you're, you know, trying to sell these, then I like DM me or something, or I just messaged them back to see what they would say. I then later saw it on so many other it's like the same image, or it'll be like a very similar
Yeah,
image.
they're just spamming these out there.
Spamming it out
Yeah.
there. So the message is always relatively the same. But the scary part is when you click on the profile, it takes you to a profile that is actually very similar to these scammers that we've seen in recent past that I've had to deal with, like, or, it's stuff where they've got a profile picture. It could be like a girl or a guy, but they've got videos with their face in it, and they're talking about like casual things. So you go, oh, this isn't a Pokemon card collector, and maybe that's why they're willing to just sell it or give it away, because they just don't care about it. But I'll go to their profiles and I'll see the comments on other random videos, and it'll be other Pokemon collectors that are like, oh, do you still have those cards? Like, I'd like to buy them from you. Or, oh, like, what's up? Like, with those cards. And so I did my due diligence, and I just acted like, okay, let me hit one up and see like how this talk trail goes.
Okay.
So you hit them up and they go, yeah, you know what? Like, we've fallen on hard times. They do the sad sob story that a lot of scammers eventually go to try to catch a break, or, get out of trying to pay for things. Like, oh, we've got hospital bills to pay, but I got this whole binder. Here's some more pictures of it. If you send me over like $1,000, I can send it to you, or it'll be like $600 or some amount of money. And they're expecting you to send that money. And then they go, oh, and you can send it via this way, or like, I'd prefer it this way, and then give me your shipping address. And I think it's just, they're trying to lure very new people, very green people that have just gotten into the hobby into thinking that you've got like this amazing deal. You're about to buy like this old school childhood binder that has all these rare, like old vintage Pokemon cards.
I fully understand this scam.
Yeah,
now.
they take your money, and then you just never hear from the account ever again.
So basically, this scam is actually a version of a scam that's actually been in existence for a very long time.
Correct.
This is not a special scam. It is a Pokemon card version of that scam, but I've actually seen this scam many times. So I'll tell you a story where 5 years ago, I was in the market to adopt a puppy, and I was trying to pick up a puppy from a I don't know what's the word for it, a place that sells puppies, or a place that breeds puppy, a puppy breeder. Yeah, it was a puppy breeder house, and they were on Facebook, and I messaged them, and they said, oh yeah, we have a batch of puppies available. Do you want to look at them and pick one out or something? They send me some photos, and I was very suspicious, but they were asking for, they said, hey, you can Zelle us or Venmo and Cash App as the money. The deposit is $600, and we can lock in your puppy, and you can get it in the next couple of weeks. This one is just 3 months old or something of that nature. But basically, I smelled the scam, and I was like, that's not legit. That's not a real puppy breeder. Like, I could just tell based on my instinct that something wasn't going right. So the deal didn't go through. But basically, it's the exact same scam. This same scam has been permeating for the longest time. Is someone out there will show you photos of something that you think they have, and they expect you to send them money to get that thing. And whatever amount you're sending them, you think is a good deal for whatever that item is. So we're just letting you guys be aware of this. Is if it sounds too good to be true,
it probably is. You guys have to be extra vigilant, especially if you're on, TikTok, but I've seen it on IG too. I guess just maybe without the picture part. But basically, it's like a sad story, or someone leaving a comment like, oh, we found this old collection. We have this old like binder, this old box of Pokemon cards. And guys, no one now in 2025, like could like one story exist out of 1,000 of like some old maybe mom clearing out like their old house or attic and finding a vintage collection and just throwing it up online for super cheap. Sure, that could happen, but most likely it's not going to go down that way. Everyone has the internet now. People can go look up what a card is worth and kind of get a reasonable idea of asking for some sort of reasonable price, and maybe even a reasonable price through a garage sale or like a Facebook marketplace sale still ends up being a better deal than market price. So then, have at it. But if a message is like, we're trying to give away cards, or we have $10,000 worth of cards, just give us 1,000, that will always be a scam, guys. So you got to watch out for those.
Yeah, that's something that I've recognized now is basically we're at the point where, hey, if you guys send us the card and we'll check them out, you just have to trust us as being credible sources.
Right.
Because we're at that point now where there's no way we are sending you money before seeing the cards. You know, it's impossible.
After like even like just my life after the past like 5-6 months, and like you're right, because and then this one almost, I mean, not duped me because I wasn't even to the point of sending money yet, but the fact that I would even engage with a post thinking, like, the first time I saw it, I was like, oh, it reads normal. Like, it's like,
it looks normal.
It looks like something where if this person wants to sell me cards,
they just sound like a curious person.
Yeah. And they sound like someone that's just trying to offload their cards. They don't care about the price. And then that's what makes it super dangerous on TikTok, because you can add the photo and they'll have this really nice binder photo of like
I've talked
Charizard,
with some other
Blastoise.
content creators, and they've talked about that, where they're like, oh my God, I love this feature on TikTok. It's so funny. And it's true. It absolutely is hilarious. It makes TikToks way better. Why don't we add it to YouTube? And I'm kind of glad we can't attach photos to YouTube comments, because I can see how the system gets abused so quickly.
Yes.
If something doesn't exist in the system, it's probably because people don't want it to be abused. And so, watch out there, guys. There's still a lot of scams. And apparently we're talking about a new scam every single episode now. It's just a rotating segment of ours, even though we don't want it to be. It just happens to be a segment.
Yeah, I mean, really, just at the end of the day, with Pokemon being on fire.
Yeah, I agree. There are still a lot of scams out there, but the community has never been stronger. In that, if you go to a vending show or you see us out there, the amount of happy faces, the amount of gratitude, the amount of energy in the hobby is still really, really strong. When you wait in line at GameStop with like 100 other people, it's a line of 100 other collectors. I'm not seeing 100 scalpers out there. I'm just seeing a bunch of people excited to collect some cards and hopefully get some inside of their collection, which is really cool. So we're not trying to discourage you guys from never making a trade with someone else. There are fantastic and awesome people to trade with.
Yes.
Just be wary that there are bad actors, and if you can avoid them, there are still awesome and fantastic people in the hobby.
Yes, exactly. I couldn't have said it better myself, guys. Like, there's awesome people joining this hobby every day. If you are a veteran out there, you know, help out your fellow newbie collectors locally. You know, help put them onto some game on, you know, what to look out for, like how to feel about certain red flags, right? Because a lot of that just comes from, you know, us getting scammed in the past, or recognizing when we feel that
we have to watch out for each other. We have to watch out for each other.
It's a community thing. And also the same with collecting, right? The same way, if you have buddies out there that have eyes that can see if you're trying to look for like that last mega in your collection, you know, you need to trust other people that they might be willing to buy it, you know, for you, and that you would need to give them money later. That's like one of the cool things about, like, when I've transacted with people, either bought a big card, sold a big card, some of those people that I met for the first time just doing that transaction are now friends of mine, where we've done like 9, 10, 12 other deals since then. And you know, that's how the hobby grows. That's how we all stay connected. So, you know, Pokemon really, in a weird way, has never been healthier than it is now, just for how many true fans and players and collectors that there are in the hobby right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I know there are some people out there, or some content out there, talking about how, you know, like the hobby's broken, and that, you know, it's really discouraging, or you can't play the TCG. And I disagree. I think you can absolutely pick up the TCG. You can still collect. It's just a different climate, and it's not a fun climate for everyone, but it is still possible, and we're just going to get through it together. And that's how I'd like to push the message. So thank you so much, guys, for being a part of the Card Lounge community. We can't really do this without you. So we appreciate you having a seat at the table and joining us on these discussions. So we appreciate you.
Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for lounging with us.
Peace out, everyone.